Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So if you look closely, you'll see a lot of built up grime on my primary case. That's because oil is seeping out through this gasket right here. It's only been a couple minutes, already got a drip on the garage floor. So we're gonna drain that oil. Got my drain pan out, clean that up a little bit and replace the oil with a new gasket. So here's the new gasket. Here's the service manual. And so under primary chain case lubricant, with these diagrams, so I'm going to need a 3/16 Allen to remove the drain plug. Here's the side cover. That's going to have to come off so I can add oil. And this diagram right here, you should be able to see in there, although I've never been able to see down in there at what these people are talking about. But this right here is really what we want to look at. Let me get some focus done. There we go. All right, so do not overfill the primary chain case. Overfilling can cause problems. Under number 7, pour 26 ounces of primary chain case lubricant in through the clutch inspection cover. In through right there. So 26 ounces is the correct amount. Now, how I determine whether I have 26 ounces is by looking, and this is type F automatic transmission. I'll show you why. So the graduation's on the side right there. And way down here, you can see there's my current level. So I'm going to pour from this one into this one and bring it up. So if that's 20, okay, there's 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So I'm going to eyeball it and get it up to about right there. That'll be 26 ounces. And I'll have the perfect amount when it comes time to install it. Okay, now, because I have Barnett Kevlar clutch plates, and I saved my instruction sheet, so let's read this real quick. When it was brand new, it soaked the friction plates. Okay, now on this side, note, do not use Formula Plus primary gear oil with Barnett clutch plates. We recommend type F ATF or light viscosity motorcycle specific oil. Okay, so you can read that right there. Now here's Formula Plus. That's what it means. Do not use in the clutch. I use this in my transmission, but not in the clutch. Okay, let me get the bike ready and we'll continue. Okay, hold on. All right, you guys, I'm going to show you a helpful hint to get the bike on and off the wheel stand. So I got my hand on the front brake right now. I'm going to push it up on there hard, and I'm going to hit the brake before it goes all the way into place. Okay, here goes. Okay, I'm on the front brake right now. And I'm going to just barely release it and let the wheel go lightly into the front holder thing right there. So just like that. Okay, if I drive in like really fast and really slam it in there, and then I use like these hooks right here and put the strap in, depending on what work I'm going to do. But right now, just on the side, I'm going to be okay. If it gets in there really tight, you'll have to let air out to pull it out, or have someone help you. It's a big mess, but so that's that. All right, hold on. Okay, you'll notice these custom-made fasteners. They require a 3/8 deep well. All right, so I'm going to pull all of them out except 2 to hold everything in place. Now with the primary cover, I'm going to pull all of them out except the top one, and I'll pull that one last. That one actually goes back in first. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll loosen them up and then switch to the and just unscrew them like this. They pop right out. Don't drop them in the oil. All right, hold on. All right, I forgot that there's a couple studs in the inner primary that can support the whole primary. Here's the inspection port cover, and I am going to reuse this gasket because the sealing area, right, where the silicone is above what we'll call the water level, whereas this one, it's below the water level, the oil level. And I'm pretty sure this is, I reused one, and then that's what I ended up with, doing it twice. And then remember that other image, it said, well, you can look down in there and see the oil. Not really. So let's pop this off. Careful not to drop it. I got them all out? I think I got them all out. Yeah, hold on. Okay, I did not damage, I did not pry, I did not pound. I stood back and thought about it a little bit. You'll see in this diagram, you can barely tell, but if you look right here, 2 short screws and 2 long screws. And so those will be found right up here. 2 of them go all the way through to the inner primary, and that's what's holding the outer primary in place. So they're at the 12 and 3 o'clock position. So let me pull those and we'll try again. Okay, it should pop right off. See, these 2 are missing. And there's a gasket that's going to create an issue too. So let's see. Look at that, how simple that is. Okay, come right apart. And the gaskets are still in place right there. So let me clean up this whole assembly and we'll put it back together. All right, stand by. Okay, while it's apart, let's talk about primary chain adjustment. And the instructions are difficult to understand. It's total play, and it's weird, even in the service manual. But at least, if nothing else, make sure it's not hitting anything. Okay, I got room for my finger under there, and the other low spots like right here. So at its highest, am I hitting? Actually, I am hitting. At its lowest, I can feel it hitting also. So I'm going to loosen that, and the whole thing's going to drop down, and it's going to be a nightmare to raise it just one of those little tiny notches. But that's what I'm going to do, because it's, if you can hear that, it's hitting on this web right there. All right, hold on. So in this next video clip, I zoomed in close so you could see the chain adjustment process, but I forgot to zoom back out when I installed the gasket and the side cover, so you won't really see exactly what I'm talking about. But when you do this on your own bike, then you'll understand what I'm referring to, if you don't already. So, okay. All right, before I took any action, you can see I got this wood wedged in here because I don't want the weight of the chain to push it down the second I get any free play right there. So hopefully this wood will prevent that from dropping, and I can just raise it easily and click it into place. Let's see how it goes. Come on, baby. And as you know, I'm just an ordinary man. There, it clicked up. You saw it move up one. And I don't know about all the other guys, what tips and tricks they use. Okay, so it's loose now, the wood. And I don't know if that might be too tight, because the whole thing expands, and the distance between the pulleys, it grows, so that gets tighter as it warms up. Let me loosen it and see if I went up 2 notches or 1 notch. So that's 1. That's the first setting. I think, all right, that's better. I did go up 2 notches. If I can tighten it. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So now I'm not rubbing on the web. Am I? Okay, I'm happy with that. I can feel with my finger that I have more room. And if you back it up, the video, there's less sag right here. Okay. I don't know how I would do it just through the little inspection cover. And you don't want to knock these gaskets off right there, because they have sticky, and if it falls off, it'd be a problem to get it on there. What I did was I used Teflon paste and put it on there, and that will hold it in place long enough that you can get the cover back on. So let's put the gasket on. It's helpful if the gasket is very, very flat, because there's one right there. And there's the other one right there. Okay, there's your stud, and there's your stud. If the gasket's all bent, when you put the cover on, it'll pop off and drop down, and so you always got to check that. So I wiped off the inside of the cover to see if I can get it on without disturbing the gasket. And there's the bearing support right there, if you can see it. Okay, it's on there. Let me feel for the gasket. Gasket feels good. Let me put one of the long, what is that? Some sticky. Put one of these in place. Okay, so the whole thing's held in place. Let me wipe down the outside, wash my hands. I'm going to clean these up. I'm going to put them in a bowl of water with dish soap and swish them around and get these things cleaned up. And then I'll get back to you. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got the outer primary case in place. Now I got to get oil in through here. And there's no room to get oil in. It's a huge pain in the neck. I'm trying to remember what funnel I used and how well it worked. I don't know. It's a huge pain in the neck, but that's the world. Oh no, hold on. Almost made it worse. Almost forgot the drain plug. It would have come pouring straight out the bottom. and it has a new O-ring on it. In fact, that's a brand new drain plug. You can see I got extras. They have a way of disappearing. So this is taking longer, but it'll help. Hopefully it'll help someone like me. You know, I'm just an ordinary man, not trying to pretend I'm something that I'm not. All right, drain plug's in place. Let's try it now. I don't even remember if it's going to work or not. It's worth a try, I guess. I don't know. The only problem is I can't see if it's going in or out with this funnel. I don't have one of those long, thin funnels. Don't ask me why I don't. So I'm just pouring it very slowly. And I'm holding the funnel gently, because if I put too much pressure on it and it slips, go flying all over, spraying oil everywhere. You want to avoid that. If you're wondering about the finish on this primary case, this motorcycle, as you see, it's one of the silver shrink wrinkle finish, the all silver engine, which I'm glad. I don't really like that all black look. But I had the wrinkle finish removed and then Scotch-Brighted the cases, the inner and outer, and the transmission cover case. I don't know if you can see it in the video right there. Some cases on the other side, or some covers, I guess. I had them all stripped, Scotch-Brighted, and then clear-coated. And I tell you what, that biker type who did the work, man, this clear coat, it has lasted years. So I'm very happy with the work that he did. I want it to match my Exile forward controls. Okay, so looks like all 26 ounces went in without issue. And that's a minor miracle. So now to install the gasket and the cover. So the gasket, the top one, or there is one with kind of a triangle thing. So what you're going to do, you're going to make sure that the side you want up, or if you can see those scratches, so that tells me that part goes down, and you know what I mean, depending on what yours looks like. So you're going to put that right there, feed this through, right, and the little triangle type opening will hold the, at least it does when it's new, will hold the gasket in place. Then you'll put the top one in. And I have, this gasket is being reused. I have reused that cover gasket in the past. This is the first time or last time was the first I ever tried to reuse the primary case gasket right here, that big one. So that didn't work. I didn't even realize at the time that I had a spare. And so at least that saved me from having to go buy one right now. I should have just did it. It would have saved me some work had I not tried to reuse it. And great, I'm missing a washer. These are 6mm chrome washers on a 3/8 thread. I gotta go find that washer. But that's gonna wrap it up. I'm done, basically done. I got my cleanup. I gotta go find this washer before it goes down the sink, or it might be on the anyway. So the bike will be easy to remove from the chalk now. I'll just have to pull back. It'll pop right out. Because you saw how gently I lowered it in. And then I'll be back on the road just in time to go to work. All right, my friends, you have a good day.